Thank you so much for tuning into this video. This is an all drugstore glowy fresh faced makeup look. I really hope you enjoy it. Before you leave, don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I hope you enjoy. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a glowy drugstore makeup tutorial because my skin's been really dry and it needs some glow to look healthy. And let's face it, drugstore is just more affordable. There might be a couple of things that are not drugstore just because there's the only things I have for that purpose, but without further ado, let's dive in. I'm going to see if I can zoom you in here. I'm going to start by priming with my Loreal Magic Lumi primer. This is a really nice pearly white primer. I'm just going to honestly apply this all over. It's just going to give a soft, pearlescent glow to the skin, and wow, I am rough on my skin. Just like slapping that product on. It's very subtle but very glowy. Alright, for foundation, I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow in 201 Classic Ivory. So the L'Oreal Infallible line, each kind of foundation has a different numbering system. So the Pro Matte is 101, this is 201. I think there's a like full coverage foundation, it's 301. So it's still the lightest shade, it's just the way they number it. I'm going to shake it up because it's kind of liquidy. And then I'm just going to put it right on my hand. I don't know how much of this I'm going to use, but we're just going to start with that much. But it's really, really runny, so I really don't want to like put it everywhere. Alright, I'm going to start by just kind of patching this on my skin. And I'm going to start with the brush because I want to get the fullest coverage. So I'm going to use my Real Techniques brush. And I'm going to spray it with some Mario Badescu facial spray. I just think it feels better when it's got a little bit of moisture on the bristles. And I'm just going to buff this into the skin. I would use a sponge, but with the foundation that's super liquidy, that would just soak up all the coverage and I'd end up using more product. And this gives a nice kind of light to medium but buildable coverage. And it looks really nice on the skin. My forehead is the place where sometimes I need the most coverage just because it has freckles. But look how nice and brightening and glowy that is. And since this is a glowy foundation, it just looks more natural if you have really dry skin, I think. And I've basically used all that I have on my hand. I'm just going to take this down the neck. Not that there's anything left, but just so there's no funky foundation lines. But this is my Bobbi Brown Corrector and Extra Light Bisque. It's basically an under eye concealer that gets rid of darkness, bluish purple circles. And as you can see, I'm just patting into the inner corner and out. This really does a nice job of getting rid of most of that blue and purpleness. And now I've got some dark circles. I'm just going to try to get it up there a little bit. It's nice and brightening, it covers, and it stays in place because it's not overly emollient, and I'm going to stop before I start using too much. Now I'm going to go in with concealer. I'm going to go in with my concealer. I'm using up my Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer Cream in the shade, oh where is it? L5 Neutral. Okay, now I'm actually going to go in just with the Sigma Angle brush. I like using this first to get the most coverage out. Then if I need to, I'll go in with my Real Techniques Purple Sponge. I just feel like this kind of pats and blends the product in without taking any of my coverage away. Oh, that looks... It's amazing how little concealer can just make you look so flawless. I'm going to go in with this just to kind of lightly pat everything and make sure it's nice and blended, but I'm not touching my skin very hard at all. I grab my Cody Airpsun powder for my under eye area. Real Techniques sponge. I really need to clean this thing. It is disgusting. If you could see, you'd be like, ew. Trying to make sure I got the inner corner. I think we're good as far as that goes. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit of bronzer. I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in Light Bronze. Oops. I'm going to use my e.l.f. complexion brush for this. It's a little bit bigger and fluffier. You can kind of put down the product but diffuse it a little bit so I don't look too awful orange. I just have a little hair of a glow to my skin just to put some more color into it. And this bronzer does have just a tiny bit of a sheen to it. We're going to use my favorite new glowy blush. It's my Covergirl Tru Blend BLush in Light Rose. I'm just going to dig right in with my e.l.f. Mineral Powder brush. And buff that onto the cheeks. Get some color back into the skin. God, I sound like a doofus. Oh well. This is my Wet n Wild highlighter. It's in Rose Champagne Glow. Super pretty and has a slight pink undertone to it, but it's also very, very subtle. My e.l.f. small tapered brush to highlight, and I just go like that, tap off, and start applying the glow to the skin. Highlight's my favorite part of makeup. I'm going to set the concealer on my eyes a little bit more with my MAC Studio Fix powder. I do this all the time if my concealer just feels a tad tacky. This way, it's like they're primed and set and ready for shadow. Okay, I'm going to use my Sleek Kit in Light. We're going with the contour shade. And we're going to buff that through our crease. And somewhat onto our lid. Oops. I almost like touched my nose with that. That's gonna go well. Alright, now for the lid and the brow bone, we're just gonna use that highlight shade. I'm just gonna grab a different brush. I'm just going to use a flat shader brush for my lid, and probably my brow bone too. It shall work for both. There we go. But I try to barely touch my lower lash line because I don't want to overload them with too much product. For our upper lashes, I'm going to use my Lash Sensational by Maybelline. I love this stuff. It's really good. And no, I do not curl my lashes on a daily basis. Oh, that's oh, look how nice that looks. Look at that difference. This is why I love this mascara. It just like coats your lashes, makes them look nice, but doesn't overload them with product. It's so stinking good. Alright, now for the lips. I'm actually just going to throw in my favorite lipstick at the moment, which is MAC's Syrup Lipstick. It's a luster finish. It's such a pretty pinky mauve. And since it's a luster finish, it has a little bit of a glossiness to it, or a sheen. And there we go. That is the complete finished makeup look. Super quick and easy, less than 20 minutes, but yeah.